Hibs Mahair nog geschoik Partick Thistle en de Kiana Tour Classico son het game oor la juice apparute que la Jesselis Jornaka son gol nu Partick Thistle toshig hier het Kiana Blue Shop jou het BBC Alpe aan de pick en winnetje. Wees gemaakt wegens fouten de ko Partick Thistle show aan de Kiana Tour Classico maar hier is maguche maar gewoon je jaar sugishke akinyan heel gaan zijn game oor kerido het vaade Irenesker ha show agus Partick Thistle gewicht al naar Hibernian en de pick en winnetje de darne eerkoers nog aan de coupe SWPL na halpe a gedraaste vision to rash hier het eerkoers nog agus is op maar zijn gedraaste voor Pauline McDonald. Pauline, many thanks for being with us on a wet and blustery afternoon here in Thistle. It's the second of the SWPL Cup semi-finals, but let's look back on Friday's semi-final between Celtic and Rangers, and what a match that was.
Yeah, an extremely closely contested affair. I think a great spectacle for the neutral, but I think in the end, for me, the correct result. I think for me, Rangers edged it on quality and obviously in front of goal also.
Yeah, it was an action-packed match. 3 penalties in the second half. What were your thoughts on these penalty incidences?
I think, you know, the first penalty, it probably is either side. If it was there, if it was the other way, they'd be asking for it. The second one I'm not quite sure of. I thought Thistle Mitag actually got the ball first, but it looked clumsy. And the third one, I'd probably need to watch it back again. So yeah, a little bit inconclusive, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Rangers are through to the final with winning for penalties with Rio Hardy getting the winning penalty for Rangers. Would you say they were worthy winners at the end of the day?
Yeah, I would say so. I thought they looked the better team throughout. I thought they were more aggressive, especially in the press, and really Celtic struggled to play out. And I think even in possession of the ball, they just looked more purposeful and potentially had more chances as well over the 90 minutes. So I think a fair result in the end.
Our attention now turns, Pauline, to Partick Thistle and Hibernian, one of which will play Rangers in the final. Set us up for today's match.
Yeah, listen, I think it'll be a really interesting game. Again, two sides that 2 points between them in the league table, both coming off the back of convincing wins in last week's first game back in the SWPL 1. Two different teams in terms of the way that they play, and I think that Grant Scott will want his team to continue to possess the ball if they possibly can. And I think that Brian Graham, he likes his team to be aggressive. They'll try to disrupt that, and I think potentially maybe look to play a little bit on the counter-attack as well.
Speaking of disruptions, how will the weather impact the manager's formations and tactics?
Listen, it's going to be a challenge for both, but I think that one thing that both teams will have to think about is what they do in either boxes. You know, in terms of set plays, defending them is going to be hugely important. The wind's going to make it challenging. So, yeah, set plays could be a crucial, potentially a decider in today's final result.
Great stuff learning from the managers. As you know, Matt O'Clean, von the manager, and I go to Alec Henley, Graham Grant Scott, Achadosha, Clunishit, Brian Graham.
Brian, it's already been a great weekend for Partick Thistle. It could be an historic one if your side go and win this game today and make it to a cup final.
Yes, listen, that's fingers crossed we can go and do it. We've worked on a game plan this week in training and we're really confident. Listen, we know we're the underdogs in this game, but when you look at the talent in our changing room, we believe we can get to the final.
You know you've already beaten them this season in the league. How much confidence do you take from that win at Medibank back in October?
Yes, listen, I thought Hibs on that day were very good and we had to have a bit of luck that day. Our goalkeeper was in great form and when our chances came, we went and took them and got a great 2-0 victory. So, listen, there'll be times today we'll be under pressure. Hibs are a good side, we're under no illusion of that, but we're a good side as well, as I keep reiterating that we've got to believe in ourselves. We've got really good talent in the changing room and we believe we can go and win today.
The weather is not the best. Does that affect the way you prepare your team for a game like this?
Yes, listen, we want to get the ball down and try and play, but I think the weather conditions might affect that today. And you've got to play at the conditions at times in the game. But listen, it's Petershill, it's our home. We've come to know Petershill very well, especially in days like this. And Rachel Donaldson usually finds a screamer on days like this, so hopefully it's the same again.
There's the prediction.
Yep, fingers crossed.
Well done. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
See you later. OK, Grant, as the most successful side in the competition, you come into the semi-final as favourites. Is that a tag you're comfortable with?
Not really. I think our history is one thing, but I think current status of both sides, other than ourselves being full-time, we are very close to each other in the league, similar amount of wins. So yeah, you know, this is a 50-50 game today for me.
A lot's been made of the league game in October when you lost 2-0 at Medibank, but to be fair, you've got a decent record here, although it's a difficult pitch, especially on a day like this.
Yeah, tough one. It's never not windy here, is it? It's difficult conditions and you know, tight pitch to play on. So, but we, you know, we had a different pitch when we lost the game earlier in the season. So I don't know how much we should read into it or not. It was a difficult result for us to take. I thought we played well on the day, but you know, credit to Partick for their victory that night. But yeah, look, it is what it is. We're same for both sides. We're here today to win, and I'm sure Partick are trying to do the same.
Best of luck today, Grant. Thank you. Cheers. All the best.
Brian Graham agus Grant Scott on the Cúteach Galach Henley on the Hennock Station. Piach Galevo, Pauline McDonald. Pauline, we've just heard from both managers there. Brian Graham very confident ahead of kick-off. Is this match too close to call, or do you have a prediction it'll go through?
I think initially it will potentially be very tight. I think obviously both teams need to try and settle in and work with the conditions that we have here. But I think if Hibs can get the ball down and play, I think they have the quality to go on and progress to the final.
Partick Thistle were 2-0 winners the last time the sides met. Do you think that'll have play a factor today, or will that go out the window today given it's a semi-final?
No, I think it'll give Partick Thistle a lot of confidence coming into the game, absolutely. But on the flip side of that, I think obviously Hibernian will want to ensure that doesn't happen again. So yeah, a really interesting contest and hopefully a very exciting one. Similar to Friday's.
Great stuff, Lee. More from you throughout the match and commentary. Gedraste, Ashin Dolegal, Soos, Gannispirish, Gurnjech, Arish, Alako Henley.
More than thank you, Callum. I guess Jech Blian on Vochai skipping a bannock, Partick Thistle is Jech, had the Starsach, Koers hier nog naast, zijn hier Turus Riev, als het niet terug Jashin. I guess ja, zijn aan China Maxen leentje nog gevallen van die Hibs. Hoewelig de Wipinik, na Fachbisho, Sheikh Tursen, de Duische Hokal. Agus gamas the Jechi of course here in the Gachke la skilisa the show to the two Glasgow ga goed te maken een kon het la maar zo ach ha train de klieke dansje ha de taasje gese klieke show skippen ha Partick Thistle nu skippen ze glee nu ja voor een game gunnishin het Jack en ze ga nu naar de venkie gaan en Claire Adams hadden weer maken de kostige wo jong crush is je chili agus de taasje in de venkie is een skippen Brian Graham. Dat aardig is te skippen a Hibs de glee Keith Gunjoni die Yankees as in SWPL in de Jerry Herkins a Joel Murray agus Brook nan de tuigsum gaan pengi agus maar was een zulige Lea Eddie het Chile Emmanuel in het Gian agus Abi Ferragus dan die is het dat Partick Thistle was Celtics daar liggen en deze nuri het taasje in de live glee in Mian Park aan high beast. Agus luchtaiche Hibs se seo na da ben mór mar bit súlach agus Partick Thistle kuteach wat súlach ganin droch íte go bugan nadaf slói bevu dievach go seo ag Peter Sill agus gishin cherafagation mar is a game at leather reach the Jew Ross Mingis me and Pathke agus it's not late Demi Faulkner na skipper then with agus Hibs at all Ganne Kjerkelachke, na Jolan Magede, Kadoka Lamia and Pathke. Pauline McDonald did Asha the Spiddish Kodumsa, and on a day like this, Pauline, going into a game of this magnitude, you want to make sure you don't make a mistake early on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, given the conditions, we might find that it's a little bit of a tentative start with from both sides.
As a Kjerkelachke heen, Kuchach maar een kraas en een leentje nachke. En vallen van die. As Natalie could have made a jack, gonna skip it. A Hibs. I guess gaan het te gebeuren dat zijn wie kost kusun je laat maar zo. De preen. I guess Grant Scott dash as a driach playing niet was de begillen de accent gemasse de begillen naar de van Hibs draaien. Na vanager ben ik Kuchper League ben ik Kuchper Halapus ga fijn in de Champions League Kuchach. I guess Thistle for Stu Brian Graham en Gra trying to find go koers Jerenach zijn een hier toerus wat zijn hier koers Jerenach de groep een halve petable naar als je nu Glasgow City ga je in de launchen ach Kormach gejupi at de valkin beken echt je nog gepet Brian Graham maar misschien maar de goalsen voor je aan je game I guess na rachgach get al try je keem Urtach 11 gaan te Thistle Hibs could the game good all Jorian Bocam ga goed de dash I guess a pool de gevoel Savannah, she has got clear line of G and Thistle. Coloni, Paolo Chile get Ashavi and the Partick, I guess Savannah, the Drake gemacht, Leah Eddy. Gu Dolph Karen Tarsing in the Partick. Tuske de werk in fatte Jul, gu Karen either cool, maar als je nu kan Tarsing in the Partick, maar als je de dag zegt dat kusboe je de game, Boko, with Kuchum Savannah. Slaters Norsen kan vind ik het asje die is Jody en Bokum van Amerika en het listij en de volkse. En een lot in het Chin Tarsing, goed je geleden het Gian. Het is vaak in de clear dog het hier gewoon listij en duivel. Hebben ze tansje goed leprak. Bokum, nou dat zeggen dat het erop had. Taylor kan Tarsing Goloten. Hier is ja voedige kids. I guess Faulkner. Je zachter gekrontje net je goede son. Thistle with Pauline, you can see the wind is blowing behind Hibs and they are taking advantage of that early in the game.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think it's really challenging for both teams to try and get the ball down on the ground, and like you say, nobody really wants to make a mistake, but so far obviously Hibs camped inside Partick Thistle half, and potentially the better of the two teams in terms of this first few minutes.
Kirsty Morrison, Edu Howells on Hibs. Lauren Doran Bart, Lisje Sattigerstjug, Gietje. Is vijgen de goal zo lijnen aanvaardig. En dat is cool een keer, Shoik Pietersel. Ik zie nu weer van Thistle. Ach, Hibs de heen shot, maar Rein had ze hier georgeerd nog een nurrie in de Glasgow City. En had de grond voor de gake hun. Dus ik me jeder Dean Gibson een shot kutje geleden had. Gake hun de Thistle. Draast skip ik Brian Graham, Gian, Teulach heen. Daar doch het hier, Chirma Gubu, Bijan een schunke matrix. Ik heb willen even een share uit daar een einde mag, maar waar kan het? Je toch looi. Is vandaag in het Thistle bal gekomen. Nakaloni, goede dash, go Eddie. Lawson, ja, gaan die eind trying to Boko, mag zeggen dat je goed het je. En is trying to Megan Cunningham. Ik heb dat een nachtbie als de goers hierenig. Kelly Clark is een skipper like Celtics, Chloe Craig, de twee hoe daar heel. Hier te lijkje is just een Celtic. Ach, kom hier dan naar Shin Kiljaarsen door straaien. En dan goes hier niet. Rangers wisse vee met die cool skippen een gelezen showfisker. Maar de huurde door game wat ik in vrienden zeg Macaroni. Weg in de room hier en meer in de paard. Zei je tu wou nog licht. Zoals ze lijnen. Ach, goed, je het dash vader Faulkner. Kamai over David Ferguson, van deze naar Gai. Brian Graham dochas nach korstig. Isje skipakje ju. Schachtel, echt die is het de show. Ze daar liggen in deze en nu Celtic. Vaak in het hebben ze een goed draaien. Je wat karamellen. Nou, we zien bo in mijn loten. Chile Gloucester Thistle, Toshan en Sees en bo toppen maar. Saas. We moesten met Haase game. Koog teul als ze daar game gidden. Ik Michaela Macaroni, dat chin peo. En dan mag ze deze aan. Keer de nu St. Johnston. Een groep en een half heb ik een heg in het aansje. En is het eerste de gwaren nu Hamilton zeggen ze gaat. Hier het gaat met Kibs maar. Het is toch een gelijk. Goed in je kraag de lijnen, ik is veel meer reetje de zuul hier om Malaysia. Powell the chin state. Powell is a gal and Brippen Oshang. I think the intention there, Pauline, was to put it right on top of the goal line where everyone had gathered and hoped that the wind might carry it in.
Yeah, I think that's a wasted opportunity there from Hibernian's perspective. I thought Michaela McAloney did really well to draw the corner, and yeah, for me, it absolutely had to go right in on top of the goalkeeper.
Thistle fine asel sin we got the súlach kish na screwy the frikert. Kisha vision Gila gal the clear Docherty e Duvhal. So line of the ish and let the Cara Henderson in a stig in the game hast. Sisha Sacha there dachke. Cala boys to the cas gejuhunke de vliegje te hopen na maar. Australia's Machbush, really the Bengi, Maravaja and Zakai, Chinedas on a here tourist, Venus Rebecca McAllister. We hit the Dur and a state the Thistle, Sanulich. The Shakara Machon, Kibs, Bowl of the Stay, Munula G and a Thistle. Smooth population of the Gal Gillich, Chanish, thought they asked her stuff to be in a pair. I think she was caught in two minds there, Populous. Did she take it short, or then she went for it long and it just went straight through to Megan Cunningham?
I think a bit of indecision, like you say, but I think for me, Hibs predominantly playing down that right-hand side, and I think there's been opportunities to play the ball back and try and open up the left-hand side, and Abby Ferguson has been holding really good areas, so I'd like to see maybe a little bit difference in terms of the way that they're trying to attack, because right now it's quite predictable and easy for Partick Thistle to deal with.
Funnishin McAloney, Fiachan, the Ferguson, who the fall off, Jeff Pick and Vinich in a dash, I guess, high lay heen, Vossi Dusa. McAloney, the Jinama, I guess, the tarring a dash, I guess, SWPL, Son Hibs. Pietjenach, Fachbusje gemeen paardje McAloney, who is fijne goggen drop at. Shakoram, Akibs, Bal, Hokalastay. Art, the Hadish, Roashkit Cunningham. And this, what I'm looking Kyle Jasha, and Doran Bar, Lisha, Lur, Bedrapat. Shannon Leishman, Kamal Sule, Val, Lachkaja Dash, the Brogan Hay, here to the session of Risha, again, Dolsua Selena. Brogan Hay, Isha Sakur, here in the Habib pure Kodian, Shinikish. I guess, Gilliard, we hit Dynasty, kind the game, Sergio. Die is in. Partick in de fijn gaat gaan koerskeren niet. Als dat krijgen de urge mag zoals go. Hoe komen? Ik een karig gezien het erheen. Ik Slater het in het asje noorsen zijn pinnetje bij. Die koers woon ik zoals de lijn bij kind catcher ook goed die hier. Ik kan niet jeder Henderson. Pristje gevallen hebben is. Ik is caught bij Cody hier zo. Shannon Leishman in Jinama. I guess well by making out the ball with the mark. Achille Lash stays a Caramela K. Good tarsing, I guess Populous and they should do. They thought they had cleared that, Pauline, but the wind remarkably kept the ball in.
Yeah, it did. Everybody has to be so alert today, but it's a great ball in that Cody Hay puts back across, and just a shame that somebody's not there to throw themselves at it.
Natuurlijk Shannon Leishman krijgt eerlijk de shot. Hele bal is dat. Yes, bisschen nadig naar Ravagi. Ik heb hem weer naar Spanje liggen na Hurus. Zal vegen de kutje mag de Wilson zijn hier terug again. Amy Bullock liggen naar pad. Naomi Powell. Taylor. Professor Henderson's Bullock die is Blaster it's not the worst idea, Pauline. A day like this, you want to test the goalkeeper, and it may be a day where a shot from long distance is the one that wins the game.
Yeah, I think maybe she just doesn't expect it, but it's really good hold-up play or good link-up play from Cara Henderson across the last few minutes especially, and Amy Bullock's actually very, very good from range, so yeah, just something not quite went right in that moment for her there.
Wel, waar Brian mollig voetig Rachel Donaldson en een tuiltje nog de sterk gehaast. Gaan jullie de bijna darakhet schießen. Dat je goed vaten dag 4. Dus je Sinclair en je kunt je jaren gaan in de Thistle en Noorsen Tokale. Fergus in de dag is op de show maar kan je. Via die fijne vallen Emma Lawton. Race to the G-shin and ish, Ferguson and Junama, Dolchana, Line, Gayaragadash, and you'll tune your shinners and hibs, Chili Alashko Macoloni, I guess the nerve. Well, she herb around, Gabonach to a skip at Ellis Notley, Count like a fast. I think that was a shot on target from Macoloni, Pauline, but Ellis Notley almost converted at the back post.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it definitely was a shot from her, but it's a great piece of play by Abby Ferguson there against a really, really top defender in Emma Lawton, and she just needs to maybe play it a little bit earlier or try and maybe play it onto Michaela's preferred foot to hit first time.
Till you Kelton is for Helle Hibbs. I guess Rabig son Thistle. I go with 80 of the ish, but I should have a can to clean it. Geschicht de Hibs in de val. Puchtig het koele Claire Docherty voor Bolcom. Hij is verschillend zuur de Thistle. Bolcom het peper gevoel je val aan zijn wie 5 keer naar gelijk. Gaan ja de reetje dat. Jill Hasten de week van Amerika nog 8 jaar teul. Ulukeleer. Al fatte sheer Selena, wat Hashach het. Rachel Donaldson, record een beetje fijn gaan zien. De eerste Bolcom Tarakic. I guess give je Santa gesteld, put into Docherty. Malastay. Coloni, het asje erop zich aan alleen het Gian. Leah Eddy. Gaki Casa Station, Ed Donaldson. Naar de vaak alleen laat. Lawson. Als je laardig toch het is raad erop zit. Donaldson in de puchtig van de voel, Noorsen. Via de fijne dasje, Macoloni. Ferguson, Dripsa, Lawton, Jisha Leeson. Macoloni has started the game quite lively, Pauline, as you'd expect, and she's really gone about this semi-final with a lot of energy in the opening stages.
Yeah, she's probably the player that's had the most touches on the ball so far as well. She likes to be creative, try and impact the game, but also likes to do the hard side of the game as well, as we can just see there.
Faulkner, skipping like Thistle, and I shouldn't check at the Leah Eddy. Lindsay Taylor with Thistle at Hoshach in the guy in the upper end. Tarsin Cody Hay, we zien het cool laten, dat je hier oprige Tarsin Lucy Sinclair hier toe trouw. Morrison ka gutch voor begaat, de ene laatste Thistle. Maar we zien Cody Hay die is nog niet Paul de stui. Shannon Leishman, Jenema, Chili Gich Faulkner, Gal K mag van een goal, agus Paul Nashare, Uncy Henderson. That's actually a better ball in, Pauline. It almost worked. Henderson just couldn't get it under control, but it caused a lot of uncertainty in that Hibs back line.
Absolutely, you have to ask the question, and like you say, she puts it in nice and early, and in these conditions, just anything can happen.
Henderson the faker a lot. Ligt het game met een Thistle jachen ze gaan gaan dat je het touw lijn nach piece on. Ze nog het kerst de Juma zo in je. Doherty, so gu tók al Jack voor het eerst schuldet je gaat je nog krijgen met verre veel uit als je schepen gevallen goed tuurlijk en ik vlieg het aan looi je gewoon in de vliegjes de game Hibs fiach in the MC hotel. Not late, I guess. Well, they doch is good gromig zijn. And again, Pauline, probably you could see what her thinking was there, hoping that ball would drop, but just didn't drop enough to bother Megan Cunningham.
Yeah, I think for me, can she maybe try and hit a driven shot on goal? Because I think with the wind and the conditions, it's very unlikely that a kind of a floaty pass like that is going to end up in the back of the net.
Look at the puchtig faravoil, Macoloni. I guess Faulkner, Femi Vinatush, Kshaishin, go Prachugadash, go Megan Cunningham. Powell. Morrison is tegen een via de eerst, I guess Faulkner. Hier toe get de Challige de Val te Macoloni. I guess Noorsen het al Gida gemaakt voor Lawton. Do like Brian Graham J on in the fairing. Skipping a Partick Thistle it'll try on the goof and halapit. I guess Brian leave Nadal. Get a tool Gia can a days and I get skip in a bannacket. Feather she tool line a shot. Donaldson a vision. Puchtige stay via and the route in a groege. Eddie. Dodash, Nina Wilson, Freen, Chifley Avashach, Kumale Vengi, Freen Hoshiki Jackazik. Hi. This reach of the Likale Deval. Lucy Slater. I guess I won't have you in see vision. It's almost a good challenge from Rosie Slater. With a shot at it, and Asha the Hassan. Morrison. I guess I go to the goal suas. Either Naga, Ela, Jackson, Chicken, Mayedic. Yes, I showed you know, Jidach not at the Hulavaki again again. There are vegan the look on the sheet of my shot. Welcome. Do you got again? Fine food for smack. Ashka Macoloni. Hebs vegan the look here lot. I guess in a chili gadash, you had the vrip gemacht. This is like Guka Hilly gadash, doch a big car my shot. Kirsty Morris, Masuring in Tarsing. Creased Rosie Slater, I guess Claire Doherty. Toen Keenan naar gaan geschenen hier nog shape de bosch en je verzaan. Let's go to the goal in the game with some crash. En je show Gio Kiri is on eergoos Gerenach. Koekpesepi. De bosch en van een deval. En my Powell Noreen Jenner les een urp shot. Yuka Hokal. Eddie, fijne hier bevallen. Je ziet me bulligen van ook alle vallen van Gunnard, zo'n Thistle. Abby Ferguson, Eddie Vau. Yes, en ik schijn voor de Thistle. Die Bosch en Jelle. Zo delen. Ja, Eddie. Jullie een boek komen. Dat zo is gaan boksen. Poppy Lawson. Who is Shin Kuchuk? Is Ishel Juval Lawson. Toch het hoekje gaan een goedje dat jaar. Hij is door een bar en oorsenle. Paul toch is er gestegen. Faulkner. Trini is toch een kiljoorlish. Eddie. Toch al Paul aartelen. Het moet je alleen het zien. Notli kan goedje gebeurd. Hij is Paul dat ik allemaal. Going back to that corner, Pauline, it was a variation this time. It was a bit lower and possibly fell to the wrong player in Poppy Lawson.
Yeah, I think the actual ball in was actually very, very good. And like you say, I think she maybe just gets a little bit excited and takes her eye off it there.
But she has done well, and it's interesting, herself and Leah Eddy have formed, they are now the first choice centre-backs for Hibs, so they've really made those positions their own this season.
Yeah, they definitely have. I think when Poppy Lawson first came up, she maybe wasn't in the right physical condition, but she looks to have worked really hard on that.
The finish, agus hador Chechat. Oh, ha trip amach or Fatulams grow at trips. Finish or Chechat, agus Kashvuye Kuchuk. This on Lindsay Taylor, basis me great the finish, Ian. I must say that looked like a penalty kick on the first viewing, Pauline. We'll have a look again.
I would absolutely agree with you, and especially the players' reactions as well.
Yeah.
Yep. They've got away with one there, Alex.
Shannon Leishman, agus Norsen, Leah Eddy. Fakala Cassis day. I guess she put finish a Shinakula and Jackin, and to rub salt into the wound, Pauline, she gets booked.
I know, that's harsh, very, very harsh.
Well, Shin Tachart is more when ik hier het late Brian Graham gemami holletje maar een shin shin. Is Rossming is reached that he had gotten nu more of a game. Lindsay Taylor, de Falcon, heb ik via de finish aan Femi Vinicius via the Fachel. And she has to be very careful now. She is one of those combative midfield players as well. So one more bad tackle and it could be a second yellow.
Yeah, I know, it's definitely put herself in a difficult position there, but you know, you can understand why she's been so aggrieved in the moment.
Cody Haley, Juval, Lawton, Thistle. Toch is een njerakasje gelijk tegen de fijne danser. Wel dat hij China de koele. Ach, keren kusser. I imagine, Pauline, that the yellow card, as we look back at this incident again, it's a clear penalty kick, and I imagine it's probably what she had to say to the referee that probably earned her the yellow card.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I think for me, I think Leah Eddy goes in with the wrong foot, and that's what causes the issue, if I'm honest with you.
Just when we were praising the Hibs centre-back partnership as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Forster could do the Aslish shin. Solkrach Shias pikken. Uspakken aan, drassen die is chat. Dat we gaan klikken dan. Thomas Kerstein is maar Paul de Klooset. De passing in is even zit in. Galoni, zeg je kar op bal waar de koele. En is Lawton terug. Nog keer stille tegen die gedrupt zijn als kindje hier daar Scott Wilson. Terug goed gezien verlossen. Paul Rie vallen voipen. Donaldson, wel, is toch gebeurd een paar. Nu Pierre en hier geopend steken Henderson en gesnoorsen. Welkom in de komende dash. Timmy Faulkner. Brian Graham will probably be annoyed about that as well. Pauline is both kind of holding each other.
Yeah, I think you can tell that both sets of players are very much up for this today.
Miatrin Duas voor waar Hibs as a goerscherende genuri voor de gaile de Rangers. Ach, we had keer fijn nou Rius. Is gekinig. Die Thistle keer fijn aan zijn hier terug die. Bullock. So let's go Henderson. I guess the Rius cha taring jora. Dash I guess the drops Hakars Buyan.
I think as the game's progressed, Alex, you can see that Partick Thistle are really grown into it and look a lot more confident and trying to play in that kind of counter-attacking manner that they are. Cara Henderson's posing to be a problem as well for those Hibs centre-backs.
This time Leah Eddy does get a yellow card, and lucky she didn't get one earlier.
Yeah.
Caught him a shot. Sun Thistle but to win box it. Jada get the harsh with Leah Eddy. Lindsay Taylor skewing the wheel. Just to win box it. Jew caught him a shot. Gaan het doen Sun Thistle. Rutte kan zo get de raas machine. Jew caught him on. Zo hij niet daraka. Kishnen. I guess had de gaan hasje. I guess shinne frekkels je hier Lindsay Taylor, but the finish of that you pick and finish in the dash. I guess I skip a Brian Graham. Look at the hasje and Pauline. That's how you get over your disappointment of not getting a penalty.
Yep, absolutely. Very, very purposeful, and I think that the way she hits the ball as well, you know what I mean, bounces up off the surface, doesn't give the goalkeeper a chance. But yep, very, very well, good taken penalty and a well-deserved goal. Just bounces in front of the goalkeeper, I think, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think you can see from Nina Wilson's reaction afterwards. The rain is driving into her face. I think she misjudged that.
I think you're right. But listen, let's not take it away from Lindsay Taylor. It's a fantastic strike and takes Partick Thistle into the lead in this game.
Lindsay Taylor, my the Shero Toil gonna decent. I guess Nina Wilson, who I guess the G local gave Lindsay Taylor land for the shin. I guess I shouldn't have cut Thistle at Hushach, and as you were saying, Pauline, they have been coming into the game and they should have had a penalty. They've used that as fuel and they've gone on and got the opening goal.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and potentially what we would expect from Brian Graham and his side. Very, very passionate manager, and he tries to install that in his players as well, and I think that's what we've seen there.
Femi Hibbs and Chile Gadash. It's the Ish chat. Cara Henderson. With Kuchum, Leah Eddy had a goal collar, I guess, behind of Janie reach of the shot. That really looked a sore one immediately, and you know when Leah Eddy goes to ground like that, it's not looking good for her.
I think again that's just the conditions, isn't it? I don't think there's any maliciousness in that from Cara Henderson.
Hier goal triple check like gloon met haar. First dan ga je dasje de kassen. Watson, ben je gewillig signeer, goed hier. Eine satige chefs, kappa gorgal, Lucy Sinclair. Schul de cheval, de meer in de path, get shinna shot. Lee shall try it, get Taylor, Saisha, in de glachke. Hij wil de Luciana Magorra. Amy Bullock, skewing shot, and it's Partick Thistle, Jechada the Voxa. Bullock, Le Cheval, the stay, I guess, a voor, nach toe. Cara Henderson, again, Pauline, you could see where the intention was. She was looking for the run of Cara Henderson. It wasn't too far away.
It wasn't. I thought it was an excellent ball there, and you're just really encouraging Cara to throw herself at that and redirect it. But yeah.
Wilson, Lisha, Videpamach. Your son Hibbs. Sinclair. Fijn dat ik een ergtje goed gekomen bij Ferguson. Bullock die is, ja, geen Scott Henderson. Eddy Kromme, Lekel, ska goed mag. En Graham keer de parach van Henderson gezondig checken uit. Hier is Shinadon Olena. Taylor Carla Barrel Saisha Nishjadash Sas shot agus a ball the goal lichke. So McGee chin for Leishman are up. Well, again I think Hibs are lucky to get away with that one. That looked like a corner, came off Leishman last.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree there. And you can see Brian Graham not happy at all with quite a few of the decisions that have not gone his way in the last few minutes.
So Ladasha the shin, he was shin, she be boshing out and a full of Shannon Leishman. I guess natuurlijk hadden we ook volgens mij is de reetje dat maar hadden we ook het ligt aan een fatike shot. Via in die opergetraaien ko boeken, maar quite caranoon nog een stukje nu. Heb ze verder geen fijn zoals gehunstie, maar wat het Giano trace game. Ballard, dat je een stuk Macaroni, Lawton de gentleman hui. Yes, Rosie Slater, just for launches the news. Taylor, I guess going to shin chin. Oh, a triple shot. It's on Leah Eddy. Well, hij is Kashbuye ook al maar ha. Agus Kashbuye da shemach a gereetje dat she Kash gerak of a show. It's on Leah Eddy. Dara Kashbuye says she it's on a news a shin. It's Lindsay Taylor. Agus Leah Eddy. She in a pre-amp look at the Gia and the Kibs. And when you're on a yellow card, Pauline, you can't go into challenges like that.
Yeah, absolutely not. And for me, our studs are up as well, and that's yeah.
Can Khudam, Leah Eddy, and it looks like a sore one for Lindsay Taylor as well.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I think
it's just desire from Leah to try and win the ball. I don't think she's a malicious type of player, but yeah, you definitely can't go into tackles like that. Hopefully Lindsay Taylor will be okay.
They got Carl at Hibs, Stuart Tosha Gama, I guess Lindsay Taylor, Jiffer, Eter da skippen hikke shot, I guess Hiu, Nachaliat Karachu, Shina Uloch. Well, you know when a player hasn't moved as well, Pauline, that it's a serious one.
Yeah, definitely.
Die dash go Casson. Tush pick and miss to Brian Graham. Skip a coach Atkinson.
Be interesting to see what Grant Scott does now in terms of the way that he sets his team up to try and stay in this game or get back in the game, should I say.
He's obviously sent Poppy Lawson out with a message there to how they regroup. Sean Newsy, I guess can't check him my own. It's like you say, Pauline, the studs are up as well. Lindsay Taylor, Rasha the Casson, who from.
I think one of the things that stands out for me as well, Alex, is it's a right-sided player playing as a left centre-back, and both tackles, I think she should be going with her left, and it causes issues for her.
It's certainly been an eventful first half for Lindsay Taylor.
It certainly has. She's been in the wars and also been the leader that's taken her team one up in this first half.
She Jiffer in a skippy and a need the set. Yes, beef. Brian Graham Tolichik really close at pick and a sewer sniller. In a stich minute in the machine could you unique at the vis when you varach can you never is a side shit. Bullock Lisha Vowel Stay, who had Shin Sua Megadic Kirsty Morrison. Doherty, Eddie Val. Sinclair, fiechan die winnig te besteden ook de bullig kachumal pel. Is een oorsen de hoek alle falla. Shannon Leishman. So it looks like what Hibs have done, Pauline, is they've dropped Ellis Notley back into central defence.
Yeah. Looks like that. I think Abby Ferguson playing a little bit deeper and maybe just trying to play Michaela McAloney just off Bochum.
Hibs kumal als je geren dat je goed. Dat zullen vegen die Praag al. Paul je de goal initially click at the varach kagas Doherty mission je wanna do how. You'd have to say, Pauline, a goal ahead and player to the good is looking very positive from a Thistle point of view.
Yeah, it definitely is, and you know they just have to play sensible, manage the game well, don't take any risks, but everything's in their favour in this moment in time, and I think that what we might see is a much more direct approach from Hibs coming into the second half, because I don't think the possession-based game style is working for them.
Je ziet zich groeien mee aan de paard. Lucy Sinclair, vader ging push Scott smunje ned dat aardig geen hele goede Jano. Thistle, Paul, Artille, hoek alle shot, Faulkner kan lopen gestaan, ja ik zie hem mag kan tripletje. Viechen die maar pijl in die val, Doherty, zo Solena en Jaltinje Henderson de viechen die final, zijn kutje mag jullie lossen, I guess. Kom al jij maak je Gelsen in een vaatje. Kom, sheer gaat naar zo'n brunetje, I can know it. It's difficult now for Jodie Bochum, isn't it, Pauline? She was beginning to look more and more isolated anyway, but she's definitely more isolated now. But she needs, when she gets the ball like that, she needs to keep it.
Yeah, she definitely does, and I think the support needs to come earlier, you know, in terms of from the players behind her. I think for me, they need to look at that sort of up, back and through, and then into the wide area.
Carl Shaw, Bristol, Bochum, Licora, Mach Faulkner, Natush, Masagi, Praga, U Kedi Riest, Sheep Gustafar, Clear in the pathje. Ferguson Boasta. Look at the Celtic shot. Cara mogen naar vader gaan naar Jem. We zeggen go Shakin Yaju. That's a shot. Like Peter Sill, Glasgow City, you know, Celtic is the look at that Nachkerson, Kelly Clark. Yes, Chloe Craig shouldn't count again. We shouldn't doch eens gebila en as Chris de laken na je donig. Doherty Art Suus viechen die Henderson uit je stuur waar. En she Anna Machoran naar een goede bal. Nothing going in Hibs' favour at the moment. They're being punished for everything.
I didn't quite see what happened there. I missed that one.
I think it was more for the late challenge after Claire Doherty played the ball. But
right, okay. Yeah, I think they need to, you know, probably half-time needs to come for them, because I think quite just now it all seems very emotional. And the last thing they need is to continue to get additional players booked and be living kind of on the knife edge for that second half.
Slater, Le Paul Ardilla agus Jean for count Lauren Doran bar agus y machas on sat agus Chechi di fawl sy'n y Chech yn y 2 munud yn mygydig yn y hyd le. Doran bar, die is schach soos alleen in pikken, ach mag die is hier die fawl. Drapsico Rosie Slater with the Dara Tool no brain just as a high Yakadish Paul Rawata son Henderson will try and go Wilson. Ish Bulcom tegen de tune tegen Falla Bachi Shay Shinigiano Wacha and he Faulkner cool at the ish Shay Stuka Crew it cool with Claire Doherty. Claire Doherty is not liking the physicality of Bocom.
She's definitely a handful, although, do you know what, Claire Doherty for me is a very physical and aggressive player also, so that surprises me.
Tegen is het al zeggen te zien in de regies. Tegen roodje gele soort. Ook met ook al lawaai we zien eigenlijk zien over de Timmy Faulkner graag. As you're saying, Pauline, it's just getting a bit emotional out there, and the last thing Hibs need at the moment is another player to get drawn into another possible sending off scenario.
Yeah, definitely, and there we see it, but it's the other way in this instance.
Emma Lawton, leis a chars fwy drop at. Chesses raad de Lishman, I guess Lawton hier in het al gaan jaar. Notly, tuchtje met as gaan alleen het Gianna stuurt te get eagle. Ja, ach en nog in te. Abi Ferguson schöne gemal stay. At the moment, if you're Grant Scott, Pauline, you just want this half to be over, get the players in and regroup if you can.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I think it's going to be a big half-time for Grant Scott, and you know, if Brian Graham and his team are smart about it, it's so easy to just frustrate the opponent more and more because they have the control on the game, they have the extra player, so they just need to be brave enough to try and keep possession of the ball, and they have it as well.
Hier is drop tussen Grant Scott en Hamie Holletje. Hier is fijn. Dan ga ik ook de goal bij Thistle. Faulkner, Cheval Waard, moet je lenen zien. Zeg het de Taylor. Hier toch het iets in de van de duval. Ben ik zin in je. Dan is Lawton en Jano nu die duwelen. Zo is het Taylor. Heel lichtje, Jeffrey het er daar skippen. Channel Leeuwje, Cody Hele, Paul Tullig, Jeffrey het Hansje, Lucy Sinclair. Ik heb managed te doen je warrig ik niet chidde geleden als een stuk en winnaars beginnen te doen ja vastig. Bolkom tegen de tune bij vallen van Faulkner, Dolko waar. Faulkner vallen geen kruid kointes aan je nach shockkorm te Hibs. Een poelen met je tegen een geet le tegen de route in een groege. Ik heb Paul, ik heb een coachie Hibs mee holletje naar je gebouw ook al de stui notly. Gavin je gedacht schrijf. Hibs bench were raging there at Naomi Powell that she didn't lift that ball into the Thistle box.
Emotional on the pitch and emotional off the pitch,
yeah.
Alex.
Minach, maar dat was een kra varach echt jedig geet le. Notley, Henderson e Kulu with Kuchimura. Sinclair. Achindi Cody Hay eineder Notley agus Leishman. Powell. Dulich the Gabby Ferguson fine machas nach daia chod can either Yanu say Oslo Suasco Macaroni. Harsinko, Kirsty Morrison, agus Claire Docherty Liams Diana McLicky. Well, that Hibs Dochers Garachig. Ach, get the game, Humalatol, Luren Doran Bar, Vafiach define Suas Loinach. Each of the Tarring. Ash, and yet another player going into the referee's notebook.
Yeah, it is, and I don't think she can argue with that. But really good opportunity there for Hibs in terms of the switch of play, and they had numbers.
Shot Coram. McGeedig, the Hibs, here late. I guess if it's the drips, it could be. Powell, Giano wrote the year as a skipper coach here. Powell, look at the state. Claire Docherty, look at the zoo, the goal. Gonna do it. Powell, Maha, Coram McGeedig, Kibs, fine at Ashcoil and here late. Awley loop agus state, not late, fine with the Gannett, Faulkner, Skippel, agus Shin, the here late. Ga Horch, go Kewn, agus Thistle. Ed Hoshach is Starsach Echtri Yanniga Payne Lindsay Taylor Apeth Garoisha trying to hear it late. A Kodaki the Fenashine, I can know nach two edition, who the Sud Willia, Edo the Voxa, I guess Hodishin Shachat, is Nina Wilson and Kiel skipper Grant Scott. Dolostay, Agli Unia, Idgedig, I guess skipper Brian Graham, Maramikra, Kiel in Asashkedanch as a horse Gerenach, the Hoofpe League, Naban. It's a show of Glue Peter Sill, Shinna score, Partick Thistle Hoon, Hibs in Yoni. Well, Shinna Fudach shot, who was the Spidish Meanis, it's Pauline. It was a strange first half. Hibs started well, but gradually Partick Thistle got a hold of the game, and you'd have to say probably at half time they deserve to be ahead.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, like you say, Hibs did start well, but I thought that a lot of what they did was forced around one side of the pitch, and sometimes, you know, the switch was on or decisions that they made were potentially poor. And I think, like you say, from that, Partick Thistle just grew into the game, and I think they definitely look like the team that's on the front foot now. Obviously being one up, having the extra player, but player for player they look like they want it more.
And Thistle thought they should have had a penalty. That was the first real talking point of the game. Lindsay Taylor and Leah Eddy, who are going to see a lot of each other as this first half wore on, and we immediately felt this was a penalty kick.
Yeah, it definitely was. When you get the close-up here, she makes contact, the ball's going forward, and she just after that makes contact and takes her down. And like we said earlier, you know, if she goes in with her left foot, it's probably a different outcome there. But unfortunate for Lindsay Taylor that she gets carded as opposed to Leah Eddy.
Yeah, Lindsay Taylor felt aggrieved at picking up a yellow card for that and also not getting the penalty, but what can you do? The best thing you can do is then dust yourself down, get back up, and then when you get a free kick just outside the area, stick it in the back of the net. And what a finish this was.
Yeah, fantastic finish, up and over the wall, and just bounces in front of the goalkeeper. A difficult one for the goalkeeper to get anything on, but I think it's the power that she puts in it as well that obviously it helps it through. But yeah, she's got an incredible goal last week as well. Yep. So yeah, she's having a fantastic start to 2024.
And those two, as we were saying, had that personal battle ongoing as that half wore on, Pauline, and culminated with Leah Eddy making this rash challenge on Taylor, and having already picked up this first yellow here, she then had to be really careful, having picked up a yellow card, as we can see there. And that's the first one, and what you don't want to be doing then is then to be getting dragged into challenges like this in the middle of the park.
It's a naive decision. Again, I think she goes on in with the wrong foot, but her studs are up, she deserves it. But does she need to actually step out and go and win the ball there? You know, there was a Hibernian player alongside Lindsay Taylor, so could she have just dropped off and allowed that to happen, allowed her team to recover. I don't think she needs to do what she's done. I think it's been rash, and it'll definitely be one that she regrets, because she's not that type of player.
As you touched on during commentary, Pauline, you said we could see the emotions were raw out there, both sides, increasingly as the half went on. Half-time probably has come at a good time, and especially for Hibs. What can they do? They've moved their captain Ellis Notley back into the back four, but what can Grant Scott, a wily, knowledgeable coach, what can he do to bring Hibs back into contention in the second half?
I think if they're going to continue to try and build and possess the ball, they need to make better decisions and play much quicker and less predictable in their play. But just looking down to the pitch just now, it looks like they're going to bring Shannon McGregor on as well, which I think is a good decision. She's very technical, very good in terms of 1v1 situations, can run at players, and I think that she'll add something to their attack, but also somebody that covers the ground well out of possession, which they're going to need being down to 10 players.
More in time, Pauline. We'll hear more from Pauline as the game wears on. Chadras Tashin Tolgal Nana Lagus Tolahorch Sul the Jickley Partick Thistle Megan Cunningham Hadias of the Rangers Bishinin Chinachinchi Achras Nagif Thistle Troy Khanakhur Geranich Agus Hashin of the V Kuchadish son another Shakanek Leunia.
Gan Jacobsby, Hanover Cruy van Skipper is fat is the cool fast Partick Thistle and the ball caution and ban and Alapa. Ach engine pthiaf Everen gewilat in the tennis steachus she had Chias league, shen allowance salvage ag smaller agus nech glay, Megan Cunningham.
During COVID, we got put in furlough when I was full-time. I felt like I wasn't really contributing to society at the time. It was a bit like, I'm doing nothing here as a footballer really, and you could see all the devastation that was going on. I was like, I would love to be able to be part of something that I would thought, definitely not brain enough to be a nurse or a doctor or anything like that, but I thought, you know, firefighting's probably up there where I thought it's quite physical, it's probably thinking outside the box a little bit. I said it's definitely something I'd previously wanted to do anyway, so I actually applied during COVID, and yeah, from there it was just kind of going through a long process. It's actually a really hard interview phase. You go through like 6 different stages, and then it took about 2 years before I finally joined in May 2022.
Seems like a high pressure job. What was your mindset going into it at first, and particularly your first call out?
You go through like such a short, what seems like a short period of training. It's only 14 weeks. I think your first call, you never feel ready. You're like, oh goodness, you're trying to remember how to put your set on, never mind thinking about what you're actually going to do in the job. So, but the guys here they're dead relaxed, they're so composed, and your watch is like your family, so they take you under your wing. You probably see them more than your family. We spend 2 days together, 2 night shifts together. Sometimes when you're dealing with quite sensitive things like, you know, fatalities and things like that, you share a lot with each other as well, so you build a good bond, and I think you just trust the training, you trust the people that you're with and things like that, and that gives you a lot of confidence going into it.
Firefighter Cunningham required to office. Firefighter Cunningham.
Sorry, that's me. Yeah, sorry, that's me.
Good.
Give me 2 seconds. They're not the most attractive. Good to get the ladder out again. It's been pretty terrible weather, so it's always a bit difficult trying to get out when it's a bit icy, just for the kind of safety of climbing the ladder as well this time of year. Drill went not perfect, but it went okay. It went in the window and I still was able to climb it, so yeah. The more you can get your hands on the equipment, the easier it is when you turn up to a stressful situation at a job. It's just, you don't have to think about it. For us, it's just these kind of things we can work on. Having those skills in the bag is like really important for us, just to make sure that it's one less thing we need to think about when we actually turn up to a proper job. The station, I've only been in about 1.5 years, but there's guys that have been here for about 17, 18 years, and they were taught slightly different, but it's always nice to see their perspective on how they pitch ladders as well. So it's always about kind of working together and learning as a crew as well. Because obviously if I turn up at a job, I'm going to be working with these guys, so it's important that we work together on a regular basis to get to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So I'm just going to run through a general check. So if I am BA, if I'm on the breathing apparatus, then this is something we'll do every morning. It's your responsibility as a BA operator to test your equipment. So I'll go through the first part where we're going to do a leak test. So we're going to press a positive button, open up a cylinder fully, press the left-hand button, open cylinder, and then you're going to close it. Once that's closed, you're then going to hit the right button, and then that'll take about a minute to run through its leak test. And that's just testing to make sure the cylinder is obviously going through the pneumatic system, it's not leaking any air. So that's the first part of the test. At the end of the day, like, this equipment is what keeps you alive and very smoke-logged conditions. Even a mouthful of like pretty bad smoke, you'll probably pass out very, very quickly. So it's important that we test this equipment. It's our lives we're putting at risk by going in and trying to save others. So it's probably our most important kit. You wouldn't like to think that every day we're going to have big fires and life-saving instances, because we're a lot better now as well in terms of like over the last 20, 30 years, there's been a lot of progression in trying to prevent fires and educate people around fire safety rather than just being so reactive in our jobs. I think for us, even though we might not be out putting out a fire every day, there's lots of different things and things we can still be doing within our station and our community to try and make it as safe as possible.
Going back to all things football, Partick Thistle, how did the move there come about?
So I've been here nearly 2 seasons. It came about, I thought I was leaving football, full-time football, when I joined the fire service. At the time, Rangers were really keen to keep me on, even coming in and doing some training when I could. Still wanted to keep me as maybe like third choice kind of thing. I think they were a bit shocked when I said I was leaving to do a career like this, because at the time I was only 26, which is quite young for, although I feel about 96. It is still relatively young to still be saying that you're kind of hanging up the gloves. So I said, right, well, if I can still manage to do training, I wonder if I could still get the opportunity to play. I don't really want to be just training for the sake of it. I would love to still be able to have the opportunity to play. I think Thistle approached me and been like, oh, you're leaving, would you like, we've got firefighters also within our club who are very accommodating for that kind of thing. So we agreed like a 6-month contract to start with and kind of get rid of me now, so I'm now signed on my 3rd extension now. Great bunch of girls. It's not hard in terms of like, because I've came from a full-time setup, going down to that part-time setup is quite, I wouldn't say it's hard because the girls are great, they work really, really hard, but you can see like compared to what other clubs have, it's amazing that they do so well, and that's credit to the management team and the staff that they've got behind them, as well as the girls willing to put in, because I'm not the only one with a full-time job, like pretty much everyone within Partick Thistle has a full-time job, so credit to them and the hard work that they put in behind the scenes, because it's brought them a lot of success in the last 2 years anyway. I can't take any credit for that, because that's definitely a cumulative effort from all the girls.
Mentality-wise, as a goalkeeper, how would you describe, or what sort of mentality do you actually need to be a goalie?
Well, you need to be nuts. Like, that's bottom line, everyone says that. You literally could mess up in the first minute and you've got to sit on that for the next 90 minutes and hope the team can bail you out, or it's vice versa. You could pull off like a 90-minute winner save, and it's like, how do you be able to let go of mistakes quite, because it's, me as a person, I'm quite a perfectionist and I like to make sure that everything's like right, and I don't always have that control, and we're all human, we all make mistakes, but it's quite hard because a goalkeeper's mistake usually tends to lead to a goal. So you've got to be really resilient in that sense and kind of have thick skin, be able to take criticism. Women's goalkeepers have been scrutinised since I can always remember. Even now they're probably still scrutinised as one of the worst positions, but it's just something that you need to learn to deal with. It's not as if we're not working just as hard as anyone else, it's just that genetically women are slightly smaller and we're still in the big goals like the men are, so it's going to be, we're not going to be, as soon as we start getting compared against them, we're always going to get scrutinised. So the mentality of a goalkeeper is you just need to be a bit brave and be willing to take the hit most of the time, I think. So yeah, nuts, just be nuts.
Just touching on the scrutiny side of it there, is that something that bothers you? Yeah,
no, I don't think anybody can sit there and say, oh, I don't care what anybody else thinks. Like, I think you'd be pretty strong-minded if you can sit there and say that. Definitely it was a lot worse when I was younger, and I think actually I was a lot worse when it was like my full-time job, because that was all I had to focus on. But to be honest, I think coming into a job like this, where actually some mistakes can lead to life or death decisions, it's like, oh, letting a goal in. Yes, it annoys me and it's the most frustrating thing ever, but at the end of the day, it's like, no one died, and you're not meaning to do it, we're going to make mistakes, and the quicker you can get over them, the better you are as a player.
What are your hopes for the future? Where do you see yourself in the next few years?
Next few years? Well, I'd like to become competent at my job. That'd be nice, with past all my kind of phases coming up. Football, I'd like to say I'd still be playing in some capacity, whether that's from a training perspective or a coaching perspective. I've done a few badges previously, and I hope one day I'd probably still be able to have football somewhere. I just take every day as it comes. It's hard to predict what's around the corner, but I'm hoping that I'm going to go on and have a successful career still within football for the next couple of years, and also within my job, because this is where I kind of see my future as a firefighter.
Megan Cunningham an hitter scaisiú go madras a client in bhó té na ginneach de runach in Hibernian, Rosie Livingston. Rosie, thanks for joining us at half-time on BBC Alpha. Oh, you're very welcome. First half, what are your thoughts on that match?
Yeah, it's difficult to put that first half into words. I think it's tricky in these sorts of conditions to get a foothold in the game, but no, Partick have definitely came out strong, so no, hopefully second half we can sort of turn the game around, but no, first half questionable.
You're not playing today, you're currently injured. What's the latest on your road to recovery?
Yeah, so I've just currently got a small back problem, but hopefully it's not going to be too long of a wait yet until I'm back on the pitch.
Great stuff, many thanks for joining us at half-time. Ach yn eisiau sy'n dod o lash, so it's going to spirish go Alec O'Henley.
Well, thank you, Callum. And Brian, is Alec O'Henley in commentary. Halfway there, you're halfway towards a place in the final, Brian. You must be happy with that first half performance.
Yeah, I am, but if I'm being really honest, I thought Hibs started the brighter. I thought the penalty decision that goes against us really sparked us into life. We then scored a good goal and we see out the half. It's definitely a red card, but I think the penalty decision at this stage of the competition, when it's so blatant, you cannot get that wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we all thought in commentary that it was a clear-cut penalty. I could see by your reaction as you ran down the touchline, you are of the same mind, Brian.
Oh, it's a stone waller all day, every day, and I can't believe he's not given it. And the fact that my player Lindsay Taylor actually gets a caution for it, if he said she's died there, I cannot believe that sort of decision.
But the best way you can react, having been on the receiving end of a decision like that, Brian, is to dust yourself down. And what a free kick from Lindsay Taylor. She's such a big player for you.
Yeah, she's a special talent, and she goes and gets her goal, and hopefully it's more the second half. We know it's going to be a real challenge, but it's one we feel we can go and do.
Best of luck, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Brian Graham, manager, Partick Thistle, Conlething. I guess Maria Hunashin, Gaman, Mihali Chilusha. With the finish, Pauline, Pauline, we knew he was going to be angry about that non-penalty award, but actually it's turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it galvanised the side and they went in front shortly after that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, absolutely right to feel aggrieved, but like you say, it absolutely fueled the team, and it was a special free kick from Lindsay Taylor, but at this moment in time, Partick deserve to be where they are.
Megan Cunningham, and Pauline, we were discussing this at half-time, on loan from Rangers. If they get to the final, I'm assuming Rangers wouldn't be willing to let her play in the final.
No, I think that's obviously set in stone in terms of the loan deals, so disappointing from Megan's perspective, but what an opportunity for young Ava Easton.
And the change from Hibs, probably as expected, Shannon McGregor, one of the more experienced players, coming in for Kirsty Morrison.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, and it looks like Hibs have potentially went to a back three now as well, so 3-4-2 formation. I think probably the right thing to do, give themselves 45 minutes to try and change things around.
Yeah, listen, it's winning Christian, Grant Scott, Egli Unia, I said go to the Chul. Shannon McGregor in Ishmi and a path get a Gazellas Notley, the Chile Gadash Suas, Shin Kuchak. Doran Bar, I guess, Nish Lawson is the Chanya Taylor. We had to be fashionable in the house, in Orishin, I guess, Poppy Lawson is, look at this, could to make a manual in a G and a Kibs. Doherty, Shalstick Henderson, Labrina, click at the Thistle, Chile, Arash, Golotan, Shale again, you and your hook, Kashvuya, Sahidley, Faulkner, Dash, Go, Megan Cunningham. Game neither of us have the Viekisby, Thistle, Kamat Tolich, and my Yonshin. Cody Hay. They've howled us on Thistle. Need this up. I the course that can you get the pure as a course getting. Macoloni, Sapa just on a wee Dave Owl, like a swim again, like a chin for a click at the Partick Thistle. Something a shech of his own, son Hibs. Tony, fiach is Paul Gloge mag me in een paadje Ferguson en Junema. Tune dat gevallen about Docherty, Norsen het al Michael Rosie Slater Kutjach. I'll be Ferguson haast het al. Hij is Jeff Nuringi, fijn Shecha de Lucy Sinclair aan Norsen could have wheel. Het in de kassen eigenlijk wie Cody Hay Duval. John Leishman keeper dat gewuile mag. Sinds Leishman Lawson. I guess door een bar drew dat je goed is aan Hibs. I'd imagine the message from Grant Scott at half-time, as well as the reorganisation and the subs. It's only one goal in it, so if they get the next one, it's game on again.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think one of the things you can see right away is that they seem to be doing things quicker. The players look like they're more up for it and trying to impact. But even when the ball goes out of play, they want to get it back in quick. They want to put pressure on Partick Thistle, and I'm sure that's been part of the plan or part of the team talk at half-time.
De Toshach in een spel, als daar een Nuringai fijn dat is cool en je gebouw close te vallen door populations, maar prachtig zo schuil. En die gaat koentisch. Als een gra, hebben ze daarna beschoven ik schacht tussen naar vuurt tegen je muren weer de goed bij blenden en fijn skippen Brian Graham gaan voorscheren niet. Ja, tuurlijk gaan het door Rangers ach. Apeth came uit Morris en Thistle met jacket. Fijn gaan voorscheren naar Tynecastle en Avias. De Noorsen kies voor heel aan Noorsen bij Brian Graham. Het gaat hem kloeien, maar hij skippen een ver. Ik Partick Thistle kloeien op een vrouw. Ik 1-0 la. Thistle, via die Unsi, ook al Duval, Pauletje Tarsing, Guka, wordt je vallen, wacht, Tuchtjem Rachel Donaldson, doe die green bullig met een keer, Falkner, Tarsing, Lena Gian, Docherty, Duval, las in het koele, Lena Korm te Henderson, je gaat die eind van smaak toch binnen per gaal, je gaat naar hoogtje. I'm just wondering, Pauline, should she have taken that first time?
I think she should have, and then I think she just gets caught in a little bit of indecision there. But do you know what? Fair play, Cara Henderson. I think she's actually done very, very well today. She's made it difficult for the Hibs centre back. She's physical. She likes to take the ball in. She can handle the pressure, but she's won herself or won her team a corner.
Bosching is on Thistle. Henderson, Huas, Amy Bullock, Marisage. Gaal in de prep maar ticket te kunnen klikken dan vankelijk lesje gu sheetjig naar Giano Bullock Tarsing zegt dat de goede tinje ja Rashko player Docherty klikken de Steenek Thistle Lindsay Taylor en de goede Rashko laat Cody Hay Brian Graham could have checked that gemaakt van look at that Atkinson just come at all fijn gaat het daar het tool de shot over dat kan condition gu essentieel en je kan wel eens dan weer klaar soundless kusje gu klioraki Falkner de pennis gedrapt dat was de koelig Bokom met de fankel in de BL5. Capexapi en Megan Cunningham McCall shot. Hij is Grant Scott. De harige naar Kiano met de Kumune skip aardige. Ferguson could Kucha Morris, Slater, Suasalena, agus amach. Ferguson, kunnen karen nach Dorash gekregen aan tripletje. Leishman, ga je Dave Howe. McGregor, well, we got the kind of boer je hoort station van een pingi. Ik lig dat haar komen zeg. Schöne hier nog kutje. Die mij eerst nog geleden. Tripletje de korte gelijk loon. Zijn plein geen meer. Not late. Je gaat die vliegje tarsing of ergens nach een guur hoortje falafs. Faber, Rich Donaldson. Hij is nog zijn dochter die Gina de Coole. Hij was je groeien in Orson bij Lucy Taylor. Hij fijne boeien dat je zo. En dan had je die herkelt en dan Thistle. En Bar McKenna. Bullock, Cheval Trast. It was the right thing to do from Amy Bullock. Just not take a touch, but lift it in and ask the question.
Yeah, definitely. I feel the game's kind of went a little bit stagnant at the moment. Everything's kind of in that middle area of the park. Nobody really getting a foothold at this point. Obviously for Partick Thistle, that's okay, but from a Hibernian perspective, really need to try and impact the game more and try and get some form of possession.
The only note of concern from Brian Graham's point of view, Pauline, will be not building on this score, and the longer it goes at 1-0, then it gets more nervous from their point of view.
Specifically given the conditions as well that we have here today.
With the toil, Gina just beat Henderson the vier in die passen getrooien, maar hij de goal doen willen. Wilson, kunnen we je laat, bal fattig, zijn trooien. Dribbler te pieken, Megan Cunningham met Gel Mille. Game met de goal, Roeteken steun, maar we zijn gra. Ach, het woelig het hibs. Ja, geen Roeteken in Janu, dus koers die game aardig. Coloni, hij duivel, dat zo is de live play. En je vast kan er mee op met groeien in de heen. Haast het al, maar Coloni. De Shabaulich en Tarsing. Slater, zijn een skiplige gedaan. Noorsen hij, zo is de lijn naar Kroatië, dan gaat Henderson. Skipper coach, ja, Kibs Miholich naar Nina Wilson. Een kus. Een kapakje door de fijne wiel, gekeld in een paadje. Simpele de fijn brak als nieuws hier het kutje. Tuchtje hem kokoonje, een poelje met een gel. Die is schuw, het gedi, schieras, naar stressen. Yeah, Lucy Sinclair ended up being the meat in the sandwich there. But this suits Thistle, Pauline. The game is, like you said, it's bitty at the moment.
It is. Obviously the weather doesn't help, but for them, yeah, just the way the game's going, there's no real flow in it for either side. But it's
looking at potential changes nonetheless. Imogen long kick. Dus Thistle vegen die Imsi Groege Kichel Nele. Donaldson, dan ik schön verlaat. Caramelic Donaldson at the rookie of the Val Maravekiri. Ach, waar even anders dan play finish. Abby Ferguson het algemeen. Twee velen. Ach, Slater. Leeg. Zoek Traum. Ach, je. Prachtig tot Suez. Nee. Ishmani de Val. Shout for a penalty here, Pauline.
Oh, I think it would have been harsh.
Although when your hands are out, the way things are at the moment.
See it again there.
Donaldson of Alm, de Cheval de Stui. I guess at the lava mag, machine. Maar de waar. Door een baars, goed in Ocean allowing a cool. I think it's always indicative when the player then puts her hands behind her back, Pauline. It's too late.
Yeah, I would agree.
She got away with one.
She definitely did.
Donaldson. Dat is van de skipper weg, Volkner. Doherty. Ja, die ook al het asjes daar. Slater. Gal Kane. Maar skill als Kanye, dat is een oorsprong van Sinclair. Oh, apatol! Rosie Slater Ruanella. Am Nurini start the hooded hurl. It's on Thistle. Agus hannig sin for strawn je proke, maar pella de machakuna. Agus Haburin Danina Wilson fine fashkid. Is that woman Rosie Slater again, Pauline? She can't stop scoring.
It's a replay from last week, Taylor and then Slater.
Well, if you're going to score only a few goals, you might as well make them count, make them memorable. And boy, was this a memorable strike.
Yeah, it certainly was. She actually does really well. It's herself that actually starts the play, but obviously confident, gets out her foot. I don't think she's left-footed either, but maybe just one of these players that can play with both. But right in the side net, and absolutely fantastic strike.
And what that goal does, Pauline, is definitely put one foot in the final now for Thistle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now probably Grant Scott maybe needs to even take more risks, because unless the team can get one back, then for me it's game over.
Wel, als je geestje gebied hebt, ze de G-Vishne gemoor. Zo je daar het huil, gauwlag, het huil voor Rosie Slater. We thought she reserved all her goals for Aberdeen, Pauline, but she's obviously branching out to other teams now.
No, very well done. And do you know what? A player that's I've been really impressed with since her move to Partick Thistle in terms of how she's grown, and she's somebody that's, you know, in that starting 11 every week for Brian Graham. So obviously a young player that he very much trusts.
You can see Groeijele again, the fast strataka gedeeltje mee aan de paadje. Leishman en Caramilla gaan de val agus wel wij fijn pikken te voeg te verkoel. Zuurwepen we zo. Aardig in het al heen. De Sun Thistle. Shona Cowan. Hij is Imogen Longcake. Het al heen het koort al in je. Graham McConnell trade de Rachel Donalds. Gesonrig en Nielsen Nische. Het al in je. Claire Doherty het in je. I don't look too happy about that decision, Pauline, but that's what you get when you're in a winning side. You don't want to be coming off.
No, you can understand, but potentially as well with the speed of play down that right hand side from Hibernian, maybe just Brian wanting to freshen things up a little bit there.
Cody Hay, look at the Dela Hatel yet, and possibly also in Brian's mind there, Pauline, that she was in a yellow card as well. So
yeah. Quite possibly, and I think for me maybe Cody's not had as good a game as she potentially had last week in terms of the way that she was able to impact it, and I think the week prior to that Imogen Longcake had actually done very, very well, so it was maybe a little bit of grief to miss out, but he'll want players to get minutes in their legs as well.
Well, be keen ek look take Thistle the hurl at Rosie Slater maar she the hurl look at this trying and a course get in the gat. Gregor in the iron, so is go Ferguson, Henderson, Guy in the dash, the go Amy Buller, Gaskulig, Tarsinko, Longcake, had you the hin for the Bengi, look at the low Komisach. Amy Faulkner, Gina Mach van a goal, a family chillige dash, go Shona Cowan, the Lewis, hard scooter, kick, Tashin and Bleana, Balchin, little trying and dribblers, Kataka Wilson. Grant Scott to Gary Barach, Gary Barach van a flick down. It's not happened for Grant Scott on his side today, Pauline, but one thing for sure, they need to get the next goal here.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Just for me, I'm not quite sure where it's going to come from. I don't see a really strong collective effort. I see players more playing as individuals.
Diana daar aardig uiteen. Hier is Vaughan Hibbs. Staat is een game na hoe. Door een baarlijke vouwlaar Trojach Falkner Marisage. Ka een voor Smach. Lawson Kurema Gadaska Wilson zorg dat hij mag als je nog Gierig kan McGregor. Hanoorsen in de klachke. Yes, Femi reached the game of start. Click at the Thistle in the lot. Lindsay Taylor, I'm assuming hand. Stuart reached the toy in a shot. And it's Shannon McGregor, a strees on a wheelish in. Caramilla, the Thistle Shomaha, agus Amy Bullock.
Yep.
Skill the Vui, Marisage. Bullock, Jack Hokal gaan foster cool, Cara Michelle, that click it aan, Thistle in the stay, a pouring of Vine, Darakach, Taylor if you can do Humal Pell, I could have. Well, they were queuing up at the back post there, Pauline, surprised that Demi Faulkner couldn't get something on that.
Another fantastic delivery, and just really for me, that's crying for somebody to put their head on it as opposed to try and wait until it comes down, as is what happened.
Changes for Hibs, Illy Adams, one of them, and Tegan Bowie. Changes you probably expect at this stage of the game, Pauline.
Yeah, definitely. Tegan's been out for a while, so good for her to get on the pitch, and obviously as a real quick attacking threat in that wide area, and then obviously the addition of Ailey Adams, which will allow them to play with two strikers now. Two nines.
Tull could have got Ashkan again at Adams here too. I should tune the go Bullock, Cowan and Orson a cowl of Wheelach and Nuring, the Bokom Uppercut Tarsinko Ferguson. Doran Bar, Barachmi and like a ball of when you can trip at. Not late. Gachuman Suicide, I guess my Ferguson, I don't know. En is je toch al die is sheetje gestutje voor gleeg in paard get coolig Lauren Doran Bar Gudich geta is toch een gesche rode paard get die even caramella Lawson She is Skatuna, she is the Venachach, Vonachu, Valvision, Rosie Slater, and he is. We know that. Cunningham, Caskin Jucket in this chase, like this will give that Hofanskid. Just a course get on a tank castle in Avias. Ach, bestow the Ela, my Yeva try it. I still a glinch in Park for Brian Graham, McChitty again, my Yunshin. My game is in the Clich to skip in a fair. I'm really glad that, well, who's a doom run again nach Clichy. I can feel me have become the skip in a ban. Ach, she see the Dullichy Vagan, but I got Clichy, my skipper, the skip in a fair. You know, lot. Come. Bunnik sin senior Ferguson nuringi fijn gaan daar op al geta bullige sin het ons gora. Hoe komt je geheim dat gestig en de volkste dag is gebekor met Ailey Adams ervaren wat het ons gora. Leishman She is ganotly, get it close it, will Tegan Bowie, and you let the Bowie in the foul has to do. Doran Bar, Suig Traum, just caught him to Sinclair, could have dashed go Cara Henderson, could not the shot to Hibbs at your cool Donaldson, I guess long cake of fair. Henderson's toch General Kusjesins, and losing the Dolkolar. Paul close it, hij met Senegal die is een korig. Dat Partick Thistle dag is gevangen gehad, daarna de smooth die ik Peters heel juice had Senegal. She kiet is kerred, agus de runner show, drie fiets schiener, na de bewoner van ik Peter Sill, agus runner shin, och kiet schachket ze kerred, ik verhel. Ach, well, kein kollig gedaan. La echt redelijk goed geweest aan de zon. Thistle aan 90 shake, Slater een langsje gevoelde drop had. McGregor can't go. Lawson aan China de Coolers, die Donaldson en Prepe Gewil, je valt af, je vangt je lach nou, je weer geen karswoeien. Cunningham, Gierede, Leinetje, voedig gedaan de volks, maar zorg heeft. Goed, boom, gemoorse surren, etter die heen, en is een klichtje ten mij gebouwd stij. Door een bar, dat ook al tarsing, en is het eerst, klichtje ten kiljorik, Thistle dash, Sanchele dish. Notley. McGregor, drukje de shin, maar we keren. Aprisje Lucy Sinclair, me en een paadje. Long cake McCunny, Henderson, een satje dasje. Voor een jebouw opgegeven. Leishman. Bowie in de koel, had de keren. Tegan Bowie, fijn zoals alleen, maar storing uit. Kom, je zit er al als het jalen, maar huilen te stochelen. Jenner als ze daar alleen. Tegen Bowie. Geet voor een echtjes rotte in een gebouwde chili. Nash voor Faulkner, ze maken some santige Tsjech. Henderson, chili gedaan, gaan alleen het Gian, via in de goedje goed. Notley, Talletje opgegaan aan Leishman. Lawson. Bal tot Chiederko, Kevin. Moin te Gransko, te kraken de kutje met de lijn Gian, agus. Sliter keine falla va Hadasha Kibs Ferguson, schon da falla va Cowan, agus dies kunnen garen dies, jach. Emi vichach veriris le santa gestjach, het doe die falla zo is alleen nog two skill, but be Ferguson. Leishman kom al Soul hier de wouw ha close is in hier, Hadasha de laren is zij. Je die gelijke trein op uit is het oprika. Lawton in de gut, Shagus het channel. Imsi, Paschke de boxe Kibs. I guess je wat de gogen even. Is je kan het censuur verdepen te vermoeien boxen. Is Leishman de kraan naar hij. De Bosch en je wou de warach. I think she got the ball there.
Yeah, I think she did. I think she did. A fantastic race between the two, but you know, from a Partick Thistle perspective, they'll be quite happy and earning themselves a corner out of that.
Shannon Leishman find the sewer, McGee get the shin, play Boschijn. Here's Lawton for the Huas. Boschijn van het duel de Pullach, Aard de Drapse. Maar Tuxum got Faulkner, I guess. Well, who are they in there, Darakic? Ideally, I think Demi Faulkner would have liked the ball to have settled, but yeah, it's not going to happen today, is it?
No, I don't think so. I think it's been challenging for both teams from corners, especially not having natural left-sided players to swing it in.
Oh, I thought that was going to come back in without going out. You see the ball of dash. Satige Czech hebben ze aan de Hibs. Megan Cunningham in een kienje gedjike bal de machtige gu zo. Rachel Donaldson in de goal. She is in the pathje. Well, Tarsing. She's been the one bright spark for Hibs, you'd have to say, Abby Ferguson.
Yeah, I think she has a point to prove, you know, having played here previously, and I think she wants to put her stamp on the game. It's a good ball across, but potentially just maybe a little bit too much on it for anybody to try and get an end contact on it.
Rachel Donaldson in the lot. Is Shanachig na Kalap Rail Cholash, na Fee in the Tonshachud. As Chown, Paskachid again. Have you had the son chances to be a guy, Laura? Doesn't look like we're going to get the long ranger that Brian Graham promised us from Rachel Donaldson. gegillet father son Thistle he is fine. Here's Rebecca McAllister, he gave the hatchet. Faulkner, eisiau fawl. Yn ei bal pymysys a lonceg lwg I lewr ac yn trepat chachio cha brwyngi chwmylys de. Fysyn corym the Thistle y darach yw Iano. Rachel Donaldson get Rebecca McAllister. Eidd Nahaja. It's another chance for her to restart her career having been let go by Hearts, Pauline.
Yeah, absolutely is. A really good player that I know well and a really talented midfielder. But I think, yeah, she just needed a little bit of time away from the game for personal reasons. But I'm delighted to see her back involved.
Han ik hier de jachin se gaan nu op Rijn Kutjach. Hij is een fijn korm. Zo'n beetje een skastel hoe gaat ook al in de game zit. There's enough time left in this game if Hibs were creating chances, Pauline, but they're not, and it's Thistle can now really just manage see this game out, and they'll be in a national final, which is a massive achievement for them, given that what 10 years old.
Yeah, exactly. An absolutely incredible achievement. Sorry, I was a bit distracted there. I think Brian Graham was having issues trying to restructure his team shape and get that information onto the pitch.
Just playing the dash at the here the game like Glasgow women like Artscall Whitehill the chin piece man van Oorsen. Brian Graham gemoor maar vaars gezien iemand eraan. Henderson, Dolkola, fine Hogany. I think Brian Graham coming in actually has been a huge help for Partick Thistle, Pauline. They've really gelled as a club, and you can there's such a synergy between the men's team and the women's team. It just feels like everything is meshed together as one, and that's to the benefit of the women's team as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you say, it's that kind of one club approach. But yeah, I think Brian has obviously great tactical knowledge and understanding of the game, and he understands the players he's got, the qualities he's got, and he puts together a game plan that allows them to be the best version of themselves.
Wel, die is chat de waar nog gedaan het Hibs draas kijken Johnny het hoort zich maar de waard league. Daar is de damer ik met de bank. On kick, Paul Plischik vaart Lawson. Fiach is gegaan met enige heen door een bar skippelig weer de koel. Ik ga goed Giedag go Lucy Sinclair McAllister lekorm. Fiach de goed Tarsin go Taylor. En is een oorsen het al stay. En is verkoud geweer daar het line is in. Gort de gloos het was in. Die Brian Graham. What a flowing move that was, Pauline, and Emma Lawton should probably have stuck that away.
Yeah, definitely. It's an incredible piece of play, 1-2 touch football, and yeah, just that final execution lets her down. Maybe needs to just try and lift it over the keeper with inside her foot there.
Duval Lindsay Taylor, I guess stochtje Graysheen pick en redig al Tarsing. Nina Wilson, Duval bij de tres line am in Avers. Gregor, there's Leishman, Quintus on Adams, and you laid more in the end of Haneke. Lawton, I get all. Een beetje dreestel, ga goed zo is Elena, McGregor Sarat, ach, Lawton Torretje bouw, like maken de koel, cheerio in een sasje de koersgeren nog eens Thistle. Zie je met daar, had je park mee aan de week zo'n game. Hibs kun je de week klikkele generous zo'n voortje in een game, als je uit de Lea Eddie, daar een kastboeie ook al. Scott edna rwy macharon yn ys dy sŵle nw at ydake gyn si ac fel 3 minutes giog na masin ydake. in Gavil. Look at that Thistle Jug, Cosk Najukin, Marahula, Gagnoni, Hoshach, Shanat, Doliano. Long kick, find Darakoramit, Daniel. Lawson Kaguch, Wipus, Norsen, Kuth, Juval, Triangle, Ferguson, Shostoch, Coram, the Hibs. And they find Chemical Cowan, Tolstegen, Avoxa, Ferguson, and Nuri, and they're paying a fall of Cala, Pichu. This Chacolot and who are the bowl of fall up. Ferguson of the Ish, Piachin the Hibs, sign of Ashen again. Chemical Cowan, Piachin the room, you know, Yehenach. Slater, as the Nachi Charst, Uadella. Ishman, Skule Gemach, go Tegan Bowie. There have you find the Val, you find served it. Rebecca McAllister of the Penasachus on a Cassack Estate. Well, if it's going to happen for Hibs, it's going to happen soon, Pauline. It's got to happen.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think, like you said earlier, probably the kind of brightest spark they've had is Abby Harrison, that really wants to kind of drive and commit, but nothing really coming off. Not even any half chances, would you say? So, yeah, it's been a difficult day at the office for Grant Scott's side.
McGregor, Doing, I guess. Nearly Adams just via the Catholic with it. Shona Cowan, does she really dash? Brian Graham, Gary, Cara Henderson, Gold, Chichna, Sacha, Sua, Selena. Kevin of the East. Henderson and Darakic. Gary, click it on. Bashkoris Cowan. Ingsi Grue, Jorrison, Rachel the Fakal. Because Fine McAllister, Cora Machaishikolar, Leishman, the Shinusi or a Savoksa. Brian Graham and Crack Keen, I guess. Keen and a camera, I can shave Ace in a smoonian. I think we saw from Brian Graham's reaction there, Pauline, what he thought of that. There was a couple of challenges there, the one on Cowan and then the one on McAllister.
I was still focused on the Cowan one, that I missed the McAllister one, but yeah, temperatures raised, emotions high, not good.
But again, I don't think there was too much in that, was there?
No, she's leaning into it a little bit, but I think it's the conditions. But I don't think it's a penalty in my opinion.
Fijn praatje goal, de Giens, maar ook de hin van de Pingis, toch een geloof, bullig in de glaze. Magic spray will do the trick, Polly.
I'd be running away from that, the temperatures that is out there.
Oh, it's the cold one. It's the cold
exactly.
one, not the hot one. Becca McAllister at Asher the Casson. Stiggen het 6 minuten mee, ik bij bekend te doen je varkakking. En misschien ik chidde game dus een pristje na de vian. Oh, die is bal karen kon te gaan zien dat Asher goed lost in de vallen. Cowan, je fijne Cowan kushin. Sinclair kan wel het al bullig. Zoals Scott Henderson. Taylor, he puchte. Oh, bij de puchte wat cool is in. Dat heeft ze nog kretsen hele Adams zeg is wel aan. Hell, I can reach the shin. Again, that was a strange position. There was clearly a push by Ellie Adams there.
Yeah, I think there's been a little bit inconsistency, shall we say, in some of the decisions making or the officiating today.
Ferguson Tarsin go door and bar, I guess session till Gidach Amach. Show I the is Chili Adams. Giachna Hake in the bow line at Ash Puchtigestay. And of course it's Lindsay Taylor that's involved again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the shock one is for me. The referee's right there.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
4 or 5 yards away there.
Gelaan nog dat Lindsay Taylor wordt dat koendisch. Daar hoor like Thistle, gaan je kennen Kibbs. Wilson, eisiau fawr lard, Bwcom, fain i bac yn ychydig o cool, like I say, fain, Chogany, Shona Cowan is thick a launch of it. She's been so important for Hibs this season, Pauline, but she's not really got into this game today.
No, she really hasn't. They started well, but I think that, you know, after that limited service and when she did have any service, there was lack of support round about her. I'm actually surprised they haven't tried to go more direct, given her, you know, her physical presence and athleticism in the second half.
Bawl of a sin fo Populos yn diolch o colach eich o lwm let ha Hibs ydy fi y diw charo Crutches y bydd cwlw Nyr byfasyn Bawl o ddasiag Megan Cunningham Tolig y giliwr na Jic yn y chosg Henderson, John Keenan a chai Leishman chun a fawr, dwy fawr. Al the chin for Leishman, I guess Fishin Santa Gustachel at the Thistle, he is a Sanoshan. Nwyn i diolch o rwy machad Hibs yn ysg. Zijn dat de golas aan gewil dat de log groeg dat al gain. Dit asje stuk in de game set. Fuse towel like an either set with the again. Jada Gama engine nog in de game. Tegen Bowie is groen klik het aan een strie son of we zou zo nog zijn. Hier de Hibs er een fall up. Een skippelt van McGregor, ga je nooit naar de gauw. Maar is iemand Leishman een kutje goed. Faulkner, ga heel gestuurd. Kan het zijn Henderson het eerst. Nistja bouw, Chantarsin bepoelig. Nu kan je natuurlijk geen klukje aan. Lawson, Tjechtolig zijn vallen af. Bishia Sinclair, door een jeesje. Eine leap and dale, she's who the da hole. It's a league in a stride of decent. In the room, you know, you hear the other books. Shona Cowan. And Graham Haskell in a click it on it, you close it. Cowan, Lisha. Bawl Tarsing, Shanna McGregor i nod. Bawl dulich a sin at cool Bwcom. Ach bydysio son, Abby Ferguson gyda. Lychet yn y chili gyda siar y Bwcom. Agus fiach yn diac like Ferguson Bwcom. Agus farafach y Tarsing. I should have got him as on Hibs, fine at Ash in a game. We were talking about her being quiet, Pauline, and bang on cue, she almost gets them back into contention.
Yeah, when she gets an opportunity, she's, you know, 9 times out of 10 more than likely to hit the target, and just really unfortunate. She takes it well, and really unfortunate that maybe just sums up Hibs' day, if I'm honest.
If that goes in, it's game on, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it certainly is.
Haast Hibs y pwch digus on y dwyl a sin ach the eist Slater is a match Jarst. For a left back converted to a centre back, I must say Rosie Slater has done really well the last few games I've seen her.
Yeah, she definitely has. I think actually both centre backs have done excellently today for Hibs. I think really Partick Thistle through the middle have been so strong, but I think, you know, player for player, they've wanted it more than this Hibernian side.
I guess Tull is late, but Slater could you hope that you the has that you cool. Adams, yeah, can they find a follow for Cowan. Cowan, yeah, can they should bow line and follow for Gunnar. Ferguson at the east, Geary Willis and Hibs, Bullock, large in the hoey kata. He's a skipper. Jamie Faulkner and Orson, Diach with a follow. Or Ripley to beat. And his Taylor to go with Macon like the east. It's the Chinamach, Dave Allen. Pauline with a few minutes left. Who's your player of the game today?
Like we said, I think there's been a few players that have done really well. Both centre backs, I think also Cara Henderson for Partick Thistle's been very influential today. But for me, I think that Lindsay Taylor has just been pivotal. I think she's the heart of this Partick Thistle side. I think she'll do the dirty work, you know, when they don't possess the ball, but she offers fantastic support in the attack, and I think, you know, her game and the goal today has really changed it in the favour of Partick Thistle.
She do like you could Thistle at Hoshach, but Tull fused in a better on the situation, but Rosie Slater is game at the Molly, is unshin at La, a Chodulich, ach, a Partick Thistle. Giel agnes aske eith koers gerenach. Nis jach koske noonje. Fiachen die hibs de gemal dain se leach geheen. Cara me shogai, this jach a long kick. Agus button bar. Gain a follow up. Callister, fiachen jain. So it's a long kick. Cowan le Caramella. Taylor. Morrison Adams is stukken crew McAllister. Ja, de hard Cindy. Not sure who Brian Graham was more annoyed at there, Ellie Adams or his own player for just not getting up and shaking it off.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either.
Lawton, Duval, like I say, Jechin Waster, agus Jemu Wilson, a fuktige falla, agus Norton Henderson at last day, pre-potion of his own. Well, that's the kind of response I think Brian Graham is looking for when you get those challenges. That's the way you answer them.
Absolutely, bounce back ability, isn't it?
Keith Minachin to Gunia Varach kicking. Agus pre-potion the Thistle, I'm swinging nach Amy Bullock, a took al show stay peak a gal kid as she do out. Kosk noon you had that kills again, Kahuma as a notion. Yes, Miguel de Gabal, the upper Hugamach. But you get a what I mean, Avarice. Something is the Thistle, but Pauline, they are so close to a bit of history for them.
Yeah, it's
incredible. In a League
it's
Cup final for the first time.
It's a fantastic story from such a team, you know, with a young history. But I think that, you know, the way that Brian Graham has them play and the desire that they have to work hard for each other, they're extremely resilient. They show incredible character. Yeah, I've really enjoyed, you know, the performance that they've put on today and the way that they've executed the game plan.
It's typified by the two goal scorers.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Spirit nach Gab Moonchu, Lindsay Taylor, I guess Rosie Slater, I guess Arachug, Anamach Goviachke. Amy Bullock, Dolla and Ye Duval. I guess McQuillan, Dolla Hine the son. You can finish in that ankle. You should do in a kid minute in Tagunya Varach Kluche. Thistle Tolletje, Paul Gemal Howelson Oshine. Slater, sheers a line nach Schindler at the Hoshach long kick. Doran Bar. This was a line it go. John McGregor has the fiach and the Rudik in a crew at the Hibs. Taylor, Sarah looking at the game. As a rat. Not leave fiach and the Grocko gemacht. Go Tegan Bowie had a via them all the game van ik Wilson le Paul Kunat Sinclair and Nurinji Hokal Shachatar of Aster key to Kirishin of Fiach and Yakva no Proisha loss and as a rat Gai Thistlechin like a Guma like Cownell and a Pathket the Jeva Fanier to Lucy Sinclair and the Hooch Jabal so ich Japrinji a Hokal Is toch gebeurde gaan naar Petraille. Minashkili, Idanka. Lawton as a notion. Faulkner. Ashka Slater. Quillen. Hier two gekjes of Hanneke van de Pingy. Door een bare follow-up. En je like Hibbs uit de Vialnach. Like Thistle. Jech minna, je follow-up. Wanneer hier koers jaren naar Gachke. We gaan je steeg, je pleien uit Ash. Kick. Die wie de gale de gasglier. Paul dat allemaal die is dan. Tegen Stech de Hibbs drapse. De Vinach. Yes, clean to has Brian Graham en keer en je laat zo'n kikaila tul. Anna mag gaan ze game. Kleine Chiana zo'n Junakine nog. Dat skleeuw de boer ja zullen we kaul tul Anna mag. Faulkner tolletje likela mag. Agus Chagavish shop, Faki Kuchikanela. Shin Mevoil bo Eli Adams sat the Gavuil is Klikitan. Hij is Toria Shinhanik Bahaniki. Yes, he should find Karsvuye. Maar een in de ruurst. Ja, nu roeten korig machinach. Geen minuutje te gaan, je varach geeft chance follow-up. Lawton zoals alleen is na, als je het echt drie is aan Brian Graham, is Partick Thistle. Fijn trying ka koers gerenach is aan een geet hudus na nechtri, gaat het steek plenen. Als je pinnik gaken joni, Rosie Slater let tul brug gelele. Als je de Lindsay Taylor. Partick Thistle gaat het haasje, ze geeft leven karach geweest, dit fijne shine als draaien als je. Goed Taylor, het haasje gaat gejuw, agus de Norsen Slater lisje. Daar tul, skunjala washinse daar le. Agus appella son Brian Graham, agus de squadeke, lisje tuul, de Jorian Bokum as Hibbs, Javi Assen, se jechi of course hier in de gachke. Agus aan een geet hudus die Partick Thistle, Genoa Slee, Gotain Castle en Navias. Agus keistjes on Megan Cunningham, biesje de kloekste koers hier in de gashinsi, die is het voor Rangers. Ach Lindsay Taylor, saar kloeket dat de game. Brian Graham could Melanie could Ferguson of ach Partick Thistle deze in de gaip. Dus je kreeg jiesje, ach Brian Graham, Janukine, gedoe dat Melanie kor in de joosjen. Agus in de kloeket dan kaartel geljoor, ik chiddige game. Het la onwasach gehuven de sheetje. Ach bij Partick Thistle komen met joosjen. Als je geisen na je gastnig as de koers gerenach. Agus sho ek Peter Sill had kreeg Partick Thistle ga Hibbs Njoni.
Wel, Partick Thistle fijn tre gaan een koers geven. Hier toerist naar Nechtis at Adi Eric Gang. Als je een beetje draait voor Pauline McDonald. Pauline, what a game we had today at Peter Sill. Partick Thistle through to their first ever national final. What an occasion for the club.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. I'm absolutely delighted for the players and the staff. I think that the effort that they put into today's game was frightening, and I think that the way that they were able to execute the game plan given the horrendous conditions is a credit to all the players and the staff.
Absolutely. We'll bring Lindsay Taylor in. She's coming along here. Lindsay, if you just come into the middle here. Well done. Congratulations on reaching your first ever national final. Partick Thistle doing so well today. Just sum up the occasion for us. How much does this mean to you and the club?
It's massive. We knew coming in it, if we were going to get to the final, it was going to be history, and that was just a driving factor for us, getting to make a bit of history again, and thankfully we've done it.
Pauline, you were impressed with Lindsay's contribution today?
I certainly was. I think that obviously hard done by not to get that penalty and then get carded early on, but what were your thoughts in terms of when you stood up to take the free kick?
I just thought I hit the target. I knew the wind and stuff, so I tried to put it a wee bit more to the right and thought the wind would take it a wee bit more to the left, and yeah, the goalkeeper was unlucky not to get it, but I'll take the goal.
Absolutely. I think actually the fact that you got a lot of pace on it as well made it even more difficult for her, but an incredible strike. like last week's as well.
I know, make that habit. I know.
Looking ahead to the final now, how excited are you and the club and the players and everybody associated with Partick Thistle about it?
We're buzzing. It's a massive occasion. Like, you just look at the celebrations behind us, and it's not just for us, it's the fans. They've travelled far and wide to come and support us, and they've turned out in their numbers today, so yeah, it's for them.
Great stuff. Well, you're today's player of the game. Well
Thank
done.
You very
Thank you very
much.
much. I'll say that. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Go and enjoy it.
Great stuff, Lindsay. Great to hear from Lindsay there, and a great goal by her. But also, we'll take a wee look at the penalty. We can't see the pictures ourselves, but we can talk through from memory. She's very hard done by not to get the penalty, and she ended up getting booked, Pauline.
Yeah, she does. I think for me, it's a stonewall penalty. She gets a touch on the ball. Leah Eddy comes in late, wrong side, and I think she's aggrieved. And I'm going to guess or assume that the yellow card was maybe just for a little bit of dissent, but you can understand.
Yeah.
And I think from there, the way that Partick Thistle turned it around was incredible. I think it gave them the fuel to go on and really dictate most of the remainder of the game.
And they turned it around with that Lindsay Taylor goal. Let's take a wee look back at it. We've got the pictures now, Pauline. Was the goalkeeper perhaps impeded by the rain?
I think she was, but I think the fact that if you watch it again, she gets it up and round the wall, and I think she sees it late, but I also think it just hits the ground. It just kind of dips at that last minute, and listen, it's a fantastic strike.
Absolutely. And soon after that, Hibs went down to 10 players. Any complaints there, Leah Eddy going off?
No, I think for me, I think it's a naive decision. I think there's no malice meant in the situation, but as a centre-back, there was pressure on the ball, and I don't think she needs to make that interception that high up the pitch.
What do you think was going through her mind? The first booking was quite soft, really, but then the second one, there's no real questions.
Do you know what? I think, the conditions make it difficult, especially for defenders in terms of judging the flight of the ball, maybe a little bit of indecision. I just thought our timing was off today across a couple of different situations. I know that she didn't start the game last week. I don't know if she's been out injured, if it's just kind of getting back to kind of game sharpness. But yeah, not the best of days for Leah Eddy, unfortunately.
But a great day for Brian Graham and your side. Congratulations on making history, Brian. Just sum up your emotions. What does this mean to you, your players, and everybody at Partick Thistle?
First and foremost, it's all about my players. I said to them pre-match that every year since I've been involved with them, they've made history. I said, why can't today be any different? They've went and did it again. The spirit and the togetherness in that changing room. I knew we were going to win today. I had that feeling. I said to my coach, Ross, when I came in this afternoon, I've just got a feeling we're going to go and do it. And the players deserve it. Look at the scenes over by, and my wee boys over there in the corner. My family's here. It's a fantastic achievement. But you can't see as a coach, you can't do it without players, and you need a good changing room, and I've got that, and I'm lucky to have that.
And you issued a rallying call to the supporters during the week, and they came out in their numbers, a record attendance today for Partick Thistle women's side, 604. You must be delighted with how they turned out.
Yeah, listen, on the spectacle of a game, I don't think it was with the conditions, but they seen the Partick Thistle fight in them, and that was all that mattered today. It was about getting the job done, making sure we got to a final, and my girls went and did it. The crowd were excellent, and I think the girls enjoy their night.
Yeah, I think maybe not a spectacle in the way we would like to think, Brian, but I think that the way that your players were able to execute the game plan today, given the difficult conditions, I think was, an absolute credit to them. And maybe not a spectacle for you, but I really enjoyed to watch that, because I think that's a big part of the game, and sometimes we forget that it's character that gets you there.
Definitely. Listen, we'd like to be nice, free-flowing football, but seeing a day like this, it's about rolling up your sleeves and digging in for your teammates. If your teammate's struggling, go and run that extra 5-10 yards to help them. And I know my girls have got that in abundance. They've got talent in the changing room first and foremost, but on blustery days like this, we knew it wasn't going to be a football match. We knew that. Getting up this morning, you seen the weather warnings last night, we knew it was going to be one of those days where the conditions were terrible, but my girls were ready for the battle, and they came out on top, and they truly deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Brian, will you be looking to rearrange the cup final schedule for the 23rd of March just now? You're playing Arbroath that day. Some of your players will be working. How will you approach that?
Well, I don't want to say too much, but listen, they've got to change it. Yeah. It's simple as that. Girls, we plan to play on a Sunday all the time, but because a part-time team get there, it was already pre-planned for a Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Well, guess what? It's just not possible for Partick Thistle to play Saturday at 3 o'clock. So the big ones, the big wigs at the top of the board, they're going to need to get their heads together and get round the table, and they're going to need to get it fixed, because there's no way I'm missing a chance to get to lead my girls out at a cup final.
Yeah, well, Brian, many thanks and for joining us. Many congratulations on reaching the final.
Thank you very
hope
much.
It works out in your favour.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Pauline, not long left of the match, but looking ahead to the final, Partick Thistle against Rangers, what's going through your mind just now about that match?
Do you know what? I think that for Partick Thistle and the history for the club, I think it's absolutely incredible. I think they've got there. The most important thing for them is to go out and enjoy it and express themselves. And I think we've seen in terms of what they have as a team, they have character, they have resilience, and they'll make it difficult for Rangers.
Absolutely.
So I think it'll be a great occasion.
Well, I hope so. Pauline, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Many thanks. Well, sinna go bhúine éirinnéasca seo apart game echtrial éile seoch éid BBC Alp agus Partick Thistle a féin tre go córsgéide nach cúpa in SWPL aparúsa agus chun an orsan, smar sin líomh a drásta.